Hey YouTubers, bringing a video today with you guys. Looking kind of scruff McGruff, but that's alright. You'll still see what I'm trying to show you. So behind me, I have my new to me 2010 Audi Q5. This one, let me flip it around and I'll show you. This one is the 3.2 V6. And I've done two modifications to it. I'm gonna go over real quick in this video 5 that I think you should do if you have one of these vehicles. 2 of the modifications are kind of related. I've already done. I'm gonna show you guys, and then the other 3 I'm gonna show you also. So let's get into it. And if you like the videos that I make, click like so I know I can make more of the same and you guys will like it. And if you want to see more when I do post it, then click subscribe so that when I do make more, you'll know about it. Let's get into it. Okay, so here in front of me I have, this is not one of the modifications, that's kind of my breakfast, but we have 5 modifications, even though you only see 4 items on the table here, that I highly recommend you get if you get one of these Q5s. So we're going to start over on this side. And this right here, this is a Bluetooth adapter. And what this does, there is a little plug inside the glove compartment that you can plug this into, and then you can connect to your phone by Bluetooth, and that way you can play music through your phone onto your radio. Because these older cars, they didn't really have Bluetooth connectivity. They did for the phone to send and receive calls, but not to play your music through it. So this solves the problem. There are 2 versions of these. There's this version, which has the single plug, and then there's another version with 2 plugs. There's one that goes into the glove box, and then another one that needs a USB power source. I opted for the more expensive single plug one, so I don't have to mess with that power source, and it works really good. The sound quality is outstanding. The Bluetooth connects immediately. As soon as I get in the car, it connects automatically. I never have to think about it, and I'll show you guys in a minute how it connects. The other modification is a dipstick. This car comes with an oil level sensor mounted on the bottom of the engine in the oil pan, and you can go on the display and check your oil level. The problem is that if you check your oil, if you open the hood and then close it, you have to wait. It says 2 minutes before you can check your oil, but sometimes it's 15-20 minutes. Not only that, but it says the engine has to be running and warm. So if you're out of oil, you have to run it with no oil and get it warm, and then shut it off and then check your oil level. This eliminates that. I like the reliability. Maybe I'm just a dinosaur, but I just really like the reliability of being able to pull the stick out and physically see where my oil level is. I'm not as panicked as if I just see the display on the dash and I'm solely relying on that. I can get a second opinion. It's a lot easier to install than you might think. Third modification is a USB charger. And how this works, it's designed, and it's really simple. It screws in, so there's a back that screws in, and it's designed to fit in the space that most cigarette lighters fit into. And so you would remove wherever the cigarette lighter panel is. Yes, I call it a cigarette lighter. I'm showing my age. You remove the panel where the cigarette lighter is, remove the cigarette lighter, install this, and then the positive and negative wires go to where the positive and negative to the cigarette lighter goes. Make sure you don't hook up the illumination wire to here, because that's on a low amperage load and it'll short out every time you try to charge something. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I'll actually show you this installed in my Touareg. I did the same thing in the Touareg. I'll show you already installed how nice and neat it looks. And the last 2 modifications are the wheels and tires. Now these are 19-inch wheels. These came with this, and you may have 18 depending on the trim level that you got with your Q5. I went from 19 to 18, and I know you're probably saying, well Trevor, that's the wrong direction. You want to go bigger, not smaller. I wanted to go smaller. I wanted to go smaller because it gives a more comfortable ride. You get more sidewall. It actually is a softer ride. It's noticeable. So I went and got a set of 18-inch wheels, and I got the 18-inch wheels and tires for less than it would cost me for a set of 19-inch tires. These tires, one of the reasons for this modification, these tires are $100 per piece more than the equivalent 18-inch tires. So these are about $220. The 18s are about $130 per tire. That's just the tire, that's not mounting balance and all that stuff. But yeah, there's a $90 difference in price between the 19-inch tires and then the 18-inch tires. So with the 18-inch wheels, I get more comfort, better sidewall. I can hit railroad tracks at 40 miles an hour and not have a panic attack. But the other modification was that these, if you can see, are a summer tire. I like to go with a semi off-road tire like a Cooper Discover or something equivalent, not an outright off-road tire, just kind of a middle of the road. And the reason is that I drive on the beach. I drive my car on the beach regularly, and it gives excellent beach sand traction, dirt traction, gravel traction. You're not gonna go rock crawling with it. You're not gonna go rock crawling with this car, period. But it gives a certain level of traction that you can't get with a summer radio. Also, wet weather traction is outstanding if you get a middle of the road tire. So I'm going to show you guys what I got on here and explain a little bit the benefits to it. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first modification that I'm going to show you guys is this, and it's really easy to install. Okay, so here we are in the glove box. This, I guess this used to plug into, what do you call it? The iPhone music player, whatever it was. It plugs into the side of the glove box here. That connects to the sound system. So there's a little tab on top. And you squeeze that tab down and pull it out. And this is what it looks like. And then this just plugs right in place of it. And so of course the squeeze tab goes on top just like on the old one, and it goes in there and plugs in, and that's all there is to it. You'll see in a minute, this will illuminate. It comes on, and there it is. So you can see it's green, and so it has two modes. There is on, which it is now, it's green. It's in Discover mode, so if you wanted to pair a new phone to it, you could turn it to on and pair a new phone, and then you turn that switch and it turns blue. So you can see from that angle, see blue, green, blue, green. And so if you don't want it to be in Discover mode, you turn it to off, and then it still works. It's just you can't pair any new phones to it, so it'll still play music. It works exactly the same whether it's off or on. You just can't pair a phone when it's in the off mode. And this works in the glove box with the phone, you know, 10 feet from the car. It works really good, and like I said, you play your music out of it and the sound quality is excellent. So that is mod number 1. Mod number 2 is a dipstick. And you're probably saying, well, if there's no dipstick in the car, how are you going to install that? You know, do I have to get into the engine? Do I have to take stuff apart or anything like that? This is so easy to install. It's going to blow your mind. And this is 4 to 3.2. I'm not sure about the 2-liter 4-cylinder, but I can show you where it goes in the 3.2. It's super simple. So you come around here to the front of the car and open the hood. This is the driver's side of the engine. So driver's side, steering wheel, left side over here, driver's side. And on the front side of the engine, on the front side right here, you see this wire going around here. Well, if you pull this wire down a little bit, you'll see this plastic piece, this triangle piece right here. And this just pops out. That is where your dipstick goes. So you pop this out, and then you put the dipstick down in that too. There you go. Now your car has a dipstick, and this is not touching any of the internal parts of the engine, so it can stay in there when the engine is running. You just leave it in there like a dipstick on a regular car, and then when you pull it out, See, there's oil reading, there's oil on it. So now not only do you have the computer sending you information on the dash, but if you're ever in doubt about what the dash is telling you, you can come outside, pull the dipstick, and see for yourself exactly where your oil level is, and not depend on that, because they can fail, they can be not exactly reliable. You know, I've seen there have been times when I would start the car up and it'll say I'm out of oil, and then I come back, you know, the next day and it says I got it, I'm only a half a quart low. So this is a really nice option to have. I bought this at a parts store. I think it was like 22 bucks. You can probably get it cheaper on Amazon, I don't know, but there it is. Dipstick installed in 2 minutes. So let's move on to the next one. So next up to bat is our power charger, and this goes in the cigarette lighter outlet. I'll show you where the cigarette lighter is in the car, and I'm probably going to make a whole video about doing this because you have to take off the center console, which I've never done on this car, so it would be interesting to see how that comes apart. But right here, so I have a regular charger that goes in there, and that is the ashtray and a lid that goes over it. So this, I'm going to remove that cigarette lighter since I never use it as a cigarette lighter, and I'm going to install this in its place. And so we're going to go over real quick to my Touareg so I can show you guys how this thing works, because it's actually pretty cool. Okay, so here we are in my Touareg, my other vehicle, and I already have, so this used to be a cigarette lighter, and I have the exact same power outlet installed here. It's pretty cool. It lights up. The reason why I got this specific one is because it lights up red, so at night it matches all the other lights inside the vehicle. This Touareg, all the lights are red when it's illuminated at night. The Audi, same thing. So this kind of matches the whole theme. Also, you can turn it on and off. If you look right here, there's a little picture of a power button, and if you touch that, see all the lights goes off and it's no longer charging. And then if you want to turn it back on, and it's just touch, it's just capacitive touch, there's no button, no physical button to touch, and it's a 3 amp charger. It charges the phone really nice and fast. I think I can go from completely empty to completely full in about 2.5 hours. So it keeps it charged. You have 2 outlets instead of the one. You don't have to worry about if it's plugged all the way into the cigarette lighter and not charging when you think your phone is charging. So I really like this. Like I said, I'm gonna make a whole video about putting it in the Audi, but that's the idea, is you're gonna replace the cigarette lighter with this outlet, and then you have 2 charge ports, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to worry about carrying a little phone charger with you or having it fall out of the cigarette lighter or anything like that. Now let's go on to the last 2 modifications, the wheels and tires. So the last 2 modifications are, of course, I went from 19-inch wheels to 18-inch wheels, and I went from a summer tire to a semi-off-road tire. And so let me put these 2 tires side by side so you can get a better look at what's going on. Okay, so here we have the original wheels that came with this. They're 19-inch wheels. And then the tires that came with these are also 19-inch. They're 19-inch tires. These are 235 55 19s, and the replacement is 235 60 18s. And like I said, I wanted a little more sidewall because I drive fast, and I also wanted a little bit more aggressive thread. So you can see this has big meaty blocks, but it's not KO2s or anything like that. I don't need that level of off-road capability, but I did want something a little better than a summer tire because of where I drive and how I drive. And these things, I have to say, the wet weather traction on this is absolutely amazing. I love that I can drive on the highway at 65-70 miles an hour in pouring rain, and there's zero hydroplaning. It drives really good. Sidewall is nice and soft. It's very comfortable driving. I gotta clean them up. You know, lots of brake dust. For some reason I get lots of brake dust on these, lots of brake dust on these, but you know, overall the traction on this is a little bit less than on these. On dry pavement, it's a little bit, you know, but if you drive like an adult, it's not a problem. But yeah, the wet weather traction, there's no comparison. So the benefits are better ride, better wet weather traction, and of course price. A set of these tires all in brand new is going to set you back about $650, $700. With these you're talking about $1,000 easily. So for the price that I paid for these, are actually original Audi wheels. It came off of a Q5, a lower spec with the 18-inch wheels, but for the price of these wheels and a set of tires was actually less than I would have paid if I just bought a new set of tires for this. So it was worth the upgrade. It was definitely worth the upgrade. So there it is, guys, the 5 upgrades. We have wheels was 1 upgrade, tires was 1 upgrade, dipstick was 1 upgrade, power outlet for charging your phone was 1 upgrade, and then my Bluetooth player was 1 upgrade. And these are definitely really nice things to have on a car. The wheels and tires is a little bit pricey if you can't find the right deal, but the rest of stuff very reasonable. The Bluetooth player was about $70. The dipstick was $22. I think it was like $24 after taxes. The charger was about $20, you know, so not very expensive, and it definitely makes for a more enjoyable owner experience. All right, so that's all I got for you guys. Bye.